By now, we all know the drill. People are tired of Gamefreak's overall lack of effort towards the mainline new games, and Legend ZA kinda seems to be the breaking point.
No. Wait.
But let's be real, everyone is also fully aware of the most ancient, nostalgia-filled goggles that is directly infused into the eyes and the frontal lobes of the Pokémon fans, who will stop at nothing to buy the newest slop with their final dying breath. Same story, different game, different year. But what if I told you that some of the most sneakiest possible Chinese developers actually have been cooking up visually much better looking Pokemon games, and ones that kind of play well, and have been successfully making money off of Nintendo's backs for actual years at this point, using clever tactics to avoid copyright infringement, which if you know how cutthroat Nintendo's law department is, you'll know that that's such a major achievement. Join me as we take a look through some of these weird-ass bootleg games, through all their try-hard animations and hardcore predatory UI, and towards the end, I'll let you in on some juicy/shady findings that I've come across that is sure to rile up some of the most hardcore Pokemon fans like Megastarmy chasing you across the alleyway. Let's get started. The year is 2023. Me and my little bro are trapped in our house. There's heavy rain outside, and we're just out here trying out very random Android games on our phones. While I tend to look for the ones that are kind of premium and have some neat rating, my bro just boots up any game that passes by, and he recommends this. Looks like the most cheapest knockoff Pokemon game that you can ever find on the planet. I said, no way bro, I ain't installing this offshoot monster hunting dragon game on my phone. Get out of here, man. He insisted that I give it a try, and also added that I'll be taken by surprise. And I thought, what the hell, it isn't like I've got anything better to do anyways. And I installed this random ass game, and boy, was I in for a ride filled with surprises. I was completely thrown off the hook with that Raikou animation alone, because it was nothing like I've seen at that point, right? Because it was like better than anything I've seen from Sword and Shield or Arceus, right? Right off the bat, the game's login screen is filled with so much character. Even this splash screen really threw me off the loop, because what the hell? It literally opens up with this insane battle between Ash and Alon, featuring both stacked with insane legendary and fully evolved Pokemon lineups going at each other with all their supposed ultimate moves, which have no right to be this well animated. Even the best cutscenes from Arceus and Sword and Shield were super tame in comparison. Even the anime was kind of losing steam at that point. But even then, I could clearly see the predatory menus and different currencies to confuse kids scattered all across the main page, which, flash forward, isn't really different from what Nintendo is doing with its other Chinese games. And surprisingly enough, the handholdiness of the mainline Pokemon games was truly felt with that game too, and I quickly took it out my phone after a couple rounds. I'm not really sure, I think I was kinda scared of playing this quote-unquote fake game at that time. I did do some research at that time to see if this leads into any rabbit hole detailing the developer's history or how this game even operates, because I was genuinely impressed by the honestly really high quality looking animations and Pokemon implementations and everything, and literally led to nowhere. Most of the info that I can found that it was one of the 100 other fake games that get taken down by Nintendo once they get a sniff of their copyright infringement stench from far above the earth. It did feel like fan projects with a lot more effort put into it, kind of leading into the more monetary gain that the game insists on having. Yeah, and nothing more. I pretty much closed the case on it and went back to sinking my time into Pokemon Masters.
Huh?
Pretty much the same premise, but hey, it's official and especially legal, right? sweet Jesus. Yes, Megamon is back and bigger than ever. How did I come across this game after all this time? Well, the same old little brother of mine pointed me towards this Play Store page, Pocket Evolution Frontiers by Miracle Games 88. Yeah, at this point he pretty much has a superpower to sniff out fake Pokemon games like these. And with names like these, it's not hard for the normal guy to figure it out, right? Pocket Arena still exists. It's kind of the same Pokemon game, but a different one. And oh wait, what's this?
Same, but different. But still.
Yeah, these games existing was kind of bugging me. And I came across some weird revelations regarding Megamon that I do want to share in this video. But first, I did play along these games to see how their gameplays are and how good the fake animations are. Specifically, how much effort they actually put in compared to Gamefreak, right? And to also take a look at how the monetization and the predatory nature of them usually follows. Because let's be real, it's the main purpose of these games anyways. Yeah, without wasting time, let's jump right into Megamon or Pocket Evolution or whatever they want to call themselves. Wow, they've got official patch notes and even details. And of course, special sale is going on. I gotta squeeze every ounce of money from those poor kids. Man, this art alone is so expressive than all the NPCs of Lumino City. This is super shady and no way I'm signing into this. Just going in as a guest. Still got the same finals opening going. I guess Mega Man is also catching up where the anime left off. Cause yeah man, Alon was done dirty in Master's Aid. Please subscribe if you want to see my rendition of the Pokemon anime. Yeah, on that side note, Alon having Suicune is kind of weird, but infinitely better than that mother Go just catching it on a whim without even trying. Whoa, Suicune's got so much aura. Yeah, my Pokemon lore knowledge is pretty washed out, but damn, Suicune is this OP? Can take 3 monster Pokemon all by itself? Yo, what did I miss? The legendary Pokemon just wiped each other off the map? We got only 4 left. Oh yeah, are we gonna see his iconic Mega X? I guess not, but damn, Charizard is going completely scorched earth. Greninja, use Water Shuriken! But the move is called Hydro Bomb. Greninja use combat power boost, Pokemon Super Evolution, and what, we just straight up jump into Oak Slap back in Pallet out? I guess that's one way to call off your match, just like that I guess. Choose your character. Wow, finally, a game that recognizes that these are kind of canon characters and not throwing gender specifics on you, right? Once again, why even is this simple UI selection so expressive? Look at how sulking Ash is when we're not picking him. Okay, I wasn't able to get Ash Ketchum. I seem to be able to see your future as a Pokemon Master. And my name is Glaze Pocket 123. That is diabolical. Ooh, we get to choose our starter Pokemon. You can never go wrong with Bulbasaur. Ooh, Oak's gonna give me another Pokemon. And it's Pikachu. Wait a minute. Isn't this just canon Ash? Doesn't he already have Pikachu with him? Rotom Dex is gonna be my guide. And I suppose he's gonna hold my hand for the next 5 levels or something. Wow, this is a cute loading screen, even though it's ripped straight off of the Sun and Moon anime. I think Pokemon are amazing creatures. And Ash is just so done with this shit. Yo, you gotta appreciate the writing on this game too. It's pretty self-aware. Did we really go through the basics again? Didn't we just destroy Alon last match? Or we got destroyed by him, can't really tell. Once again, these idle animations and artwork, while it does have this stench of bootlegness, for the lack of a better word, it's still looking very polished. And you gotta appreciate how infringing it is. Okay, we got Pikachu fully charged. Man, little boy Pika's got heat. And what do you know, the next step we're gonna do is just straight up doing the gacha. Is a Delibird known to give you the worst gifts ever? Yeah, I was expecting something cool. Geodude is fine, I suppose.
One eternity later.
Damn, we're fighting Hugh now from Black 2? Aw, the memories. It was my first game ever. Yeah, rock type's doing nothing against fire, but my grass type just obliterated a Fennekin.
The most violent, the most diabolical, the most dangerous!
Yeah, that's it, Hugh. Go back to your hometown and loathe about your sister's stolen Pokemon or something, man. You ain't fit for this trader lifestyle. They completely changed the theme of the login with ghost types, trying to make it all spooky and shit. Wow, authentic ghost type user, Acerola. Dude, this is too much effort for a fan project. Are we sure this is not held by Nintendo themselves? Let's save that for the end of the video. Gengar's little dance is funny. Once again, huge apologies. I am not signing into your server. So yeah, you can manually level up your Pokemon by feeding them snacks and all these other random different currencies. Now, I almost want to point out the obvious and say this is pretty predatory, but it's the exact same thing that Pokemon Masters does. I guess this is now the norm with these games. If you lose, you'll have to go on a date with me? Of course, we've got lower accurate Ash bagging all the Pokegirls. And of course, he has room temperature IQ and fumbles every time. Insane attention to detail if you ask me. Although dating Bianca might actually just be a nightmare. Yeah, that kinda messed up with the height difference. Although, look at this knot hanging out from his nose. That's disgustingly well done. Quality of life features like animation speed-ups. Okay, Nintendo's got nothing on this game. Yeah, Gamefreak is decades behind in terms of quality of life changes. Oh, Evolution's also manual. Sweet Ivysaur's here. Yo, can we stop with the hand holding? I kinda got the gist of what this game offers, okay? Wow, this loading screen goes so hard. A family of Gengar all cosplaying for Halloween? That's sick. Let me guess, we're gonna wipe off these Feraligators without even trying. Yo, why does Greninja have the Ash Greninja animation for his water shuriken? Damn, Ivysaur. Is that supposed to be Bullet Seed? Cause those balls each look like actual meteor showers. Good gracious lord, the hand holding is finally over. Suppose we can power up our moves here. Evolution obviously has certain requirements to meet before actually going through. Yeah, okay, standard stuff. And of course, once you're done with the tutorial, you're hit with a constant barrage of ads for in-game events. I might really call it a Chinese tactic. Literally it is. This literally reminded me of Pokemon Unite without even trying. Okay, time to head straight into the gacha. We do have 10 free tokens, and S-tier Pokemons are guaranteed, so let's test our luck. Dude, I cannot emphasize more the fact that these are so accurate. It's literally giving me a seizure. Wait, Duskull is an S-tier? Okay, yeah, Dusknoir is pretty strong. Ooh, we got a Fennekin. Okay, let's try to evolve our Charmander and create a new lineup with our new Pokemon. Wait, you can change your player character and they all each come with their own specific buffs with skill slots? This is a whole new level of predatory if you ask me. And you really just gotta appreciate how accurate these are and how consistent they actually do keep everything. Like this similar art style that they've got, like they're going the extra mile on this, and you know, Chinese company or not, I really gotta appreciate. Yes, the predatory aspect is actually pretty crazy. Now, I'm not 100% convinced that Nintendo has not got a sniff of what this company has been doing, because some of the revelations that I've found are actually crazy, which I'll get to by the end of the video. But just know that this company, they obviously have been getting a lot of funding. It's very evident. It's definitely above average, which is actually much better than what Nintendo and Gamefreak are doing for their mainline games, which is insane to even think about. But yeah, keep that in mind. And with that, this game is closed. Now let's go take a look at Master Legend by Mooney Stikes, who are known for incredible games such as Faded Color Wallpapers HD and digital art, wallpaper, HD. Like, you cannot make this up. Like, it's very obvious that this is a burner developer that is registered to Google Play just to reimburse this game with new servers and extract as much money as they can from kids while they're up. We got fake Ho-Ho, and then oh boy, they do not even take the slightest attempt to hide the fact that this is a fake Pokemon game. I think it's been up for like the better part of this whole year. That's some crazy work if you ask me. Or is it really hard for them to keep this going? Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna risk playing through this for you guys. Man, these fan artists are going crazy with their title screens. Yes, of course, you can never go wrong with the nostalgia bait. But we got G-Max Meowth to spice things up. And of course, I guess it's tradition to start the game off with a League Finals Championship match. And this time, we're going up against Misty? There must be something wrong. Man, even Ash is confused. Yo, but put some respect on my girl. She can go hard if she wants. Although, what's up with these Pokemon selections? Misty with Rayquaza and Mewtwo? Ash with Magneton and Zekrom? What the f is even going on here? Guess you gotta spice things up somehow to rile up the kids. I must say right off the bat, the visuals aren't hitting that hard compared to even some of the older games. The Pokemon animations and move effects of ZA and Arceus, you know, for all the criticisms that they get rightfully so, are actually some of the better aspects of the game. Wait, we got the Digable Havoc Pikachu with the hat and everything, but Ash is also still there with his Kanto uniform? What is going on? Okay, wow, we got brand new weather typing going, but it kinda seems like Rain Dance on the other hand. But hey. Yo, Pikachu just demolished that Dragonite with one hit. Yeah, even though the visual fidelity is pretty low, the animation themselves are pretty crisp. Oh my god, is it gonna be like one of those open world MMOs? Can we walk around and explore all these areas? Okay, we're gonna challenge gyms to become the champion eventually. Standard Pokemon stuff. Wait, the Mega Scizor can actually talk and it can't be a wussy? It go train in the wild region? Okay, my liege, I'll do as you say. Wait, why is he running on his own? Why can't I control him? Don't tell me it's one of those UI-filled auto-selection hub worlds. That is a huge bummer. Yeah, I think I like Rotom better as my navigator. But who knows? Maybe Wigglytuff will stop holding my hands very soon. Yeah, the loading screen is very simple. Megamon went so hard on it though. And what do you know? We jump straight into the gacha. Gotta get your priorities straight, I suppose. Okay, this whole section is ripped straight off of Pokemon Masters. Oh, who would have guessed? The same Magnezone from the intro. Oh wait, what's this? We've got multiple region? But yeah, I'm pretty sure that just add up to the number of levels that you can play and not actually, you know, let you interact with the regions. Yo, where even are we battling? This looks like one of those hillside regions from Just Cause 2. Although, yeah, I suppose cars can exist in Kanto region too. Please don't go over the basics again. We very much know how the battle system works. Yeah, the animation themselves are really good. Textures though, pretty lacking. But I suppose it's full on 3, so you know, they do deserve some level of respect. And of course, we got the unnecessary amounts of obligatory random ass items that you need to level up and evolve your Pokemon and power up moves and all that other gist. Yeah, 2 water types against 2 electric types. Very fair matchup there. Yeah, this game doesn't really have the eye candy advantage that Megamon did. Seems like you got a lot of RPG elements going in, but you know, if you ask me, it's just there to complicate things even more. Okay, this seems like a fair fight, although I'm pretty sure we would still wipe them off. Yeah, what did I tell you? Yep, we got a Zapdos. That is pretty cool, but 3 electric types? Care to give me some type variations there, Master Legend? Man, these fights are pretty lame. 2 battles back to back against the same kind of Pokemon? If you ask me, that's very exhausting. Okay, how does this system even work? You change your nature, do a nature exchange to go from quiet to mega brave, and you automatically get Luchador Pikachu somehow. How does that even work? And right off the bat, after I got Luchador, I get to evolve my Pikachu too. Yay, pretty cool stuff, but shouldn't my Raichu also be a Luchador variant? Oh, I can substitute Pokemon on the waiting line? Are these from, other players in the world? I don't know. I get to have a Delphox, I guess, so it's pretty cool. Finally, some variation. Wait, how do I even do the substitution? Where's my Delphox? Ugh, why do I even bother? Ash Ketchum standing at the edge of the mountain cliff, staring across the horizon, wondering how he'll ever become the champion. And also, why is this water filled with purple goo? How did I even get teleported to this location? Cool, I caught a Raichu of the SR variety, which is literally already there in my fucking team. Jesus, Master Legend. What, you're still holding my hand? I'm done with this game, man. This game is tiring the shit out of me. I'm so done. Master Legend, I suppose you're pretty good for what you offer, being a free game and all, but I'm sorry, Megamon is just miles better than you. You're not even beating Scarlet and Violet. I'm sorry, you're pretty back with the times. All the cool animations, I suppose. Kids do seem to love your game, and I'm pretty sure you're stealing money from them. And I was struggling through Reddit to find more info on the game. And what juicy info do I find? Nothing. Except for Pokemon fans still defending Gamefreak and downplaying these animations, calling them, stolen assets? Even though none of specifically Gamefreak's previous games had animations like these. Jesus, Nintendo fans are a different breed, man. Moving along, Pocket Arena still exists, which does not even have an in-game title. But it has an in-game company though, which you guessed it, does not exist. But the game is made by Titan Craft Studio, who are also jumping into the seas of fake One Piece games, which is a whole different can of worms that we cannot navigate, no pun intended, in this video, because I'm pretty sure the scope of that is super huge. And they also have this game, which I'm pretty sure is an Android malware. I don't want to get into that. Look, I'll spare you the details on this one because the game is kinda boring and pretty bad. It's essentially an auto battler using pretty much the same identical assets from Megamon down to the special moves and UI. Surprisingly, it's way less handholding than the other two games, but goes equally or even more brutal on the monetization than those games. The music is good though. Well, because it's ripped straight from the mainline games. Damn, despite having stolen music, these games have been up for too long. I suppose if we're gonna rate these games, Pocket Arena would probably be at the bottom of the list. It sucks. Followed by Master Legends, which is kinda okay. And of course, Megamon at the top, which is pretty decent, and on some perspectives actually pretty good. Isn't saying a lot, but hey. And with all of these fake shit out of the way, now it's time to talk about the other two Chinese games that is directly funded by Nintendo themselves. Cue the montage.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then your talking don't matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets.
I know this was supposed to be a joke and whatnot, but seriously, the monetization in these games is reaching some newfound degenerate levels. I mean, seriously, how many more currencies do you want to feed into this children's MOBA, Tencent? They literally urge you to buy rank protection cards that prevent you from, ranking down when you lose a match for their in-game currencies called EOS crystals, which you buy for real money. I mean, seriously, Mobile Legends doesn't even pull this shit, and they're the Chinese League of Legends. You know they're gonna force these kids to lose more games and increase revenue this way. And don't even get me started on the prices of these skins. Riot Games is probably more charitable than these guys. Masters is probably pretty tame in comparison, I think. Last I checked, every single main character had their own specific featured gacha pulls, meaning around 8 to 10 different gacha pulls. But thankfully, they all pretty much use the same gems. A couple of them maybe use the paid version of the gems, I'm pretty sure. Don't know how the game is doing now, but it cannot go worse than Unite. Other than the fact that both these games are literally just normalizing kids to gambling from a young age. I suppose it's all business. I guess it's how Asmongold says.
All the crypto betting certainly incentivizes younger kids to be more interested in crypto gambling.
I don't know why everybody tries to go and bring out this thing with the kids. Won't somebody think about the kids? Like, I don't give a fuck about the kids.
Over here,
Just kill them.
You're gonna pay me more,
Kill them kids.
brother.
And about Megamon, I like how Google doesn't really care about doing a simple background check on blatant IP infringement. Like, don't they have a plethora of data on the most litigious company on the planet? You know, the company that nukes entire ROM sites and destroys the lives of hacking kids and wipes no-profit fan projects off of the earth? And Google just willfully lets anyone post fake-ass games for a quick profit? Or is it really the case? You gotta wonder, with how good some of these visuals are in these games and how accurate these Pokemons are utilized, would we really be wrong to suggest that Nintendo itself is secretly working with these rip-off startups and China itself? And you gotta wonder and flip your thinking hat on this one. How does a game that's very obviously threading along the thin wires of copyright infringement on the highest grossing media franchise on the planet get away with running this not so cheap and actually kinda better looking knockoff with full-on gacha revenue streams for 3 successful years at this point? Yes, I kid you not. This is literally their banner to their official YouTube channel, which has regular videos updating events and new Pokemon releasing with full detailed and descriptive voice acting and full-on motion graphic visuals.
Skill 3. Lightning Dash. Attack a column of enemies, dealing 320% speed attack, plus 192 special damage.
Like, no way this is some small indie company taking huge risks to infringe on IP, right? Tell me that this isn't the case. Like, tell me Nintendo is not involved in this in some way. Maybe they have a background high-level revenue sharing system where Nintendo takes most of the split and also helps them maintain servers or something. That could be the case, or who knows. Maybe they're making 9 to 10 times more money than they ever have with their own official Chinese games, with all their fucked up monetization to the point where they can't even be bothered with these fake ass flip-flopping gacha games. I asked Google itself about the whole Megamon debacle, and here's what it had to say. Quote, Megamon appears to be a Pokemon-themed mobile game that uses copyrighted material without a license. Despite being technically illegal due to intellectual property infringement, it can still operate and even have anniversary events because operating without direct confrontation. As with many fan-made unofficial games, can continue to exist as long as the copyright holder, Nintendo/the Pokemon Company, does not force its removal. While Nintendo is known for shutting down infringing projects, some unlicensed games, particularly in some regions or on less monitored platforms, can slip through or avoid legal action for some time. Less monitored platforms. Yeah, like the #1 biggest mobile app sharing platform on the planet, coming from Google itself. Jesus. Platform loopholes. Mega Man is primarily distributed through third-party platforms like APK sites, Facebook groups, and itch.io, rather than the official Google Play Store or Apple App Store? Buddy, this shit is literally on your platform. That's how I even got to it in the first place. You gotta be fucking kidding me with this. Sure, they were using deceptive tactics to put their game up, but still, can't be blatantly lying about this. This makes it harder for the official intellectual property holder, Nintendo in this case, to enforce copyright and take down the game. Yeah, really hard to search their name up on Google or look them up on Facebook or their freaking YouTube page that is still up. Whatever. Monetization tactics. The game is a gacha-style mobile game that monetizes its gameplay with in-app purchases. This gives the developer a financial incentive to keep the game running and celebrate milestones like anniversaries to encourage more spending from the player base. Yeah, crazy how you know about their deceptive tactics, but can't figure out that their game is literally on your Play Store. Leveraging social media. The game maintains active communities on social media platforms like Facebook, where players discuss the game, post celebratory messages for anniversaries, and receive updates. These communities help keep the game alive and build a dedicated fan base despite its unofficial status. Yes, been doing this for years behind yours and Nintendo's backs. Of course. And you guys do not do anything about it, right? In short, Megamon is able to operate and hold anniversary events by existing in a legal gray area, using platform loopholes and building a community, all while the copyright holder has not taken official action to stop it. Right. We're talking about the same Nintendo that literally destroys people's yearly work without a single grain of sympathy, empathy, or any of those kinds of good emotions. This has to be a joke, man. Yep, Nintendo will turn a blind eye to other companies with the same cutthroat, greedy practices as them. But yeah, them poor fan projects that are also non-profit gotta nuke them off of the earth. I guess game respects game type shit. Ugh. One of my most anticipated fan projects was the Platinum remake with the Gen 5 graphics, because let's be real, Gen 5 visuals solos every other Pokemon art style. The BDSP looks like some low-budget GameCube title. But now, I'm very positive that the developer stopped working on it altogether, seeing all different kinds of horrible fates that Nintendo's victims had to suffer. I mean, I myself do hope that they moved on to, greener pastures instead of getting sliced by Nintendo Sword into bits. Yes, this franchise is never gonna see a brighter future. Nope, not with zombie consumers like this guy. All fair criticism will be deflected off of Nintendo till the human life cycle ends, and the fans will keep on buying it forever. And that is just gonna add more power to Nintendo to give legal pressure to any and all upcoming Poké-style game that breaks the scene. Is what you think is true, but the competition there is getting pretty stacked. It feels like almost every 2 months there's some new monster catching type game getting announced. Almost like every developer is tired of both Nintendo's underhanded legal tactics and probably their own favorite childhood franchise never, evolving? And about the criticisms of graphics, it's not just other modern anime-looking games or these bootleg games looking even better, but Nintendo's own spin-off games do look genuinely better by comparison. Pokémon Tournament, Pokemon Snap, even Detective Pikachu and 3DS Mystery Dungeon, even their own Chinese mobile games look so much. You know what? They're meant to extract every last drop of money from those poor kids playing them, so it's probably intentional. Why else would these skins look so well designed compared to any building on Lumino City? While also most of these Mega Evolutions suck balls. Words cannot describe how disappointed I am in Mega Starmie. Legend ZA isn't necessarily bad, it's got some positives actually, and sales might be really high, but the dulling in overall quality and Gamefreak just putting the bare minimum effort is just so evident. And even though public perception when it comes to Pokemon is non-existent because all the criticism gets thrown down the trash and its newest titles will always sell like hotcakes, critical reception is seeing newest lows the franchise has ever seen. Probably also the lowest rated user game of this entire year, and that's a big L considering how stacked this year is. And apparently Nintendo's been taking a few hits with their lawsuit against Palworld in their own home turf. Yeah, Nintendo's monster capturing patent has been rejected in Japan and is also being re-examined at the US Patent Office, meaning it might not get passed along as easy as how Nintendo thought it would. And a large portion of what's responsible for this outcome seems to be the increasing online discourse surrounding Nintendo's bad reputation, which is crazy to even think about. Yes, but it's happening. Nintendo's really now reaping the seeds of what they sow, and it's only a matter of time before competition actually poses a threat to their money printing machine. I kept my fingers crossed and was hoping for the best when it comes to future releases, because the initial data leaks revealed some good information. Leaks for the Gen 10 Pokemon games are out, and it's all looking positive. Wait, Nintendo and good news in the same sentence? Wait, are we in a simulation or something? It's gonna be called Pokemon Wind and Waves, and has been in development since 2023. Lots of emphasis on sky and underwater exploration. Awfully similar to a certain recent game that blew up, maybe? They also have been cooking up this new engine that handles dynamic weather and most importantly, render much better visuals, opting for realistic graphics, exclusively for the Switch 2. Now yes, this could all be a hoax and Nintendo Nintendo would much rather have legal battles against 4 other companies all at once. Part of me really wants to hope that this really is Nintendo's definitive answer to all the online discourse, proving that they can truly defend its crown jewel by delivering actual quality to topple its competition. Guess the rumors were too good to be true, because apparently the whole budget of the game seems to be a whopping $20 million. Now, you might think that's a lot of money, but for context, Legends EA, for all its low poly graphics and single city compromisation, cost around $13 million. Now, you might also say, wow, Wenzo, that is such a huge step up from the previous title. They spent around $100 to $120 million on Breath of the Wild alone. Same for Tears of the Kingdom. And the upcoming Gen 10 game is apparently gonna let you explore 2 different regions.
Stop the cap.
Now, considering the budget and the development time, it does not sound good to my ears, okay? How would that even be possible? It's really up to the Nintendo investors and the fan base that keeps on buying their products. Bro, I'm sorry, this franchise is gonna meet its inevitable demise somewhere, and I think even Megamon probably has a higher chance to overtake it at this point, seriously. And with that, yep. Thanks for watching till the end. Like, subscribe, leave a comment or whatever. You know, throw a dislike if you despise this video and think Legends EA is one of the greatest video games ever made and whatnot. See you soon, I guess. Bye.